buy now, pay later, the rise of the outdoor US consumer, and the evolution of occasionwear. That and more on today's episode.
Want to know what's next? For over 2 decades, we've led the world's most influential brands to create the right products at the right time for tomorrow's consumer. This is WGSN's Client Questions Answered.
Hello and welcome to the show where our experts from around the globe unpack your biggest challenges. This week is extra special. We've had lots of questions about the US, so we're honing on this market, which is behind me right now, to share our team's insights. I'm Carla Bazzashi, President and CEO at WGSN. Let's get started with our first question, which comes from a client asking, with buy now, pay later services on the rise, how are these payment alternatives affecting Gen Z's spending behavior in the US, especially in the context of the cost of living crisis? So let's stick here in New York and hear from Cassandra Napoli, our Senior Strategist for Insight. Over to you, Cassandra.
Buy now, pay later apps offer consumers the ability to purchase items that they may not be able to access otherwise and pay via incremental installments over a period of weeks. And during tough economic times such as now, they're more popular than ever. In fact, new research in April from financial lender Affirm revealed that 23% of US consumers were more likely to use a BNPL service over the next month as a result of rising prices. These services can really help consumers access the essentials or big-ticket items, but this new norm of flexible payments paired with a financial knowledge gap is actually sending some Gen Z spiraling into debt. All of this is playing out on TikTok, of course, with some creators poking fun at the reality of delayed payments, while others are promoting these services via sponsored ads. There is an emerging group, though, that's aiming to educate the masses about the potential dangers and risks of failing to pay up.
Brilliant insight there. Thank you, Cassandra. Our next question comes from a client asking, how do you see the US consumer investing in their time outdoors and what markets might this impact? So for this one, I'll be passing over to Angela Ringo, our Senior Strategist for Interiors, also based here in New York.
When the pandemic hit, US consumers quickly got outside to reconnect with nature. Since then, activities like cycling, hiking, birdwatching, gardening, camping, fishing, and forest bathing have grown as popular outdoor activities. In addition, US consumers are continuing to transform their outdoor spaces into an additional room for safe socializing, entertaining, relaxing, and playing. Despite supply chain challenges, front porches, patios, and backyard renovations have been on the upswing, with DIY solutions for both urban, suburban, and rural environments. In fact, 78% of Americans have upgraded their outdoor living spaces in the past year, and 91% of US consumers plan to do more updates in their backyard in 2022. This is reinforced on social media as mentions of front yard or front porch have reached a 5-year high, with projects that include painting shutters and doors, hanging outdoor curtains, planting trees, and building window boxes and planters. The outdoor boom is definitely continuing strong in the US.
Great stuff. Thank you, Angela. Our interior site has a whole section dedicated to garden and outdoor forecasts and trends, from DIY backyard escapes through to van life, so be sure to check it out to make the most of this market shift. And our final question for today comes from a client asking, now that consumers are returning to events, how has occasionwear evolved and what is the future of heels? Giving us their take is Sydney Morgan Petro, our Senior Retail Editor based in New York. Over to you, Sydney.
So as consumers are returning to their in-person events, occasionwear is a really big topic at the moment. And the data is actually showing that the amount of new dresses in the market and the reported purchasing as well, especially in the United States for girls about 16 to 18, so kind of that prom consumer, is stronger now than it was even before the pandemic, which is really interesting. So trends in that space to watch out for: things like Bridgerton inspired looks with corsetry and bustiers, anything that taps into that Regency core vibe. But then you also have your very subversively sexy bodycon dresses with lots of cutouts and ties and ruching. With heels, it's really just about that mid-heel height, so things that are slightly more comfortable, like the mule and the platform.
Amazing. Thank you, Sydney, for that answer. So that's it for this week. If you've had any questions or comments that you'd like answered, please pop them in the comments box for our team. I'm Carla Bizashi, and I'll see you next time.